Coming in at number 10 is Gentora, played by Katie O'Brien, who was introduced in the third film. I like characters like her. She is the leader of this resistance against Kang the Conqueror, who has conquered this area of the the quantum realm, actually. She's strong, she's passionate, she's a very interesting character, she looks good as hell, and she's pretty badass. And I really like characters like that. I will say, unfortunately, the film doesn't really give her a lot to do, nor does it really dive much into her backstory and or motivations outside of pretty much just being a rebel leader. Coming in at number 9, Bill Foster, played by Lawrence Fishburne. Bill Foster is a character that was actually an associate of Hank Pym and helped develop the idea of working to discover the quantum realm. He's actually a pretty cool character, and yes, there is an animosity between the two characters, but the man is actually pretty humble, he's pretty interesting, he's pretty cool, and you see how loyal he is, especially given his loyalty to the character of Ava Starr. Definitely would like to see more from that character in the future. Coming in at number 8 is Sonny Birch, played by Walter Goggins. Now, Sonny Birch is a black market dealer, and the reason why I like his character so much is not because he's money hungry. I like it because he actually is an outside party that's not a superpowered being that's actually trying to cash in on what's going on. Similar to, Michael Keaton's Vulture, who end up taking the technology from the Jatari and cashing in on it. I feel like Walter Goggins' character actually has like a similar goal. Yes, it's money and everything, but it's just I like him. He's kind of a sleazy guy, and it's interesting to see a character like that in the MCU. Just a guy just want money and everything, who isn't superpowered, who isn't like bent on world destruction or revenge or anything. He's just a pretty basic dude, what you would consider a black market dealer. I like coming in number 7, Louise, played by Michael Pena. And the reason why I like Louise's character because he is a very cool guy to his core. He's likable, he's loyal, and definitely the humor there. Like his relationship that he has with Scott and how far he's willing to go. I think his character is pretty grounded with the humor. Yes, he has some moments here and there, but I actually like the fact that he isn't really over the top. Pretty much, which I don't like the other two characters that T.I. and the other guy played. But T.I.'s character and the other guy, don't really like them. But I do like Louise's character, and I wish he could have had a role in the third film. Coming in at number 6, Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas. Now, I like Hank Pym's character. He's kind of this a grungy old man. He's really, really smart. He's really, really compassionate, and you do see where he's coming from, both in terms of being just a scientist and being like a family man. And I've never really given a care about the character of Hank Pym, but he's actually grown on him due to Michael Douglas' performance of the character. I actually like it. Coming in, number 5, Darren Cross, Yellow Jacket, played by Corey Stoll. Now, I like this because similar to Sonny Birch, the Birch character, he is a guy and it's basically greed. He's kind of like whatever the guy was, Obadiah Stane was to Iron Man, and Darren Cross is kind of like that to Hank Pym. I like his ambition. He is a smart guy, but he's really ambitious. And then the Yellow Jacket outfit looks absolutely badass. And I really wish this character actually would have had more to contribute to the MCU outside of the freak show that he is in the third film. Coming in, number 4, Ava Starr Ghost, played by Hannah John-Kamen. Now, the reason why I like this character, I like the character for several reasons. One, she has a very interesting backstory. You do feel sorry for the character. She's actually an interesting character. You want the character to actually fulfill her goals because it's not revenge based. It isn't like she's wanting to kill people. It's not about destruction. It's actually a really legit reason why she's doing what she's doing. Another reason is her abilities are actually really, really cool. Being able to phase and how it's utilized throughout the film, throughout combat, transportation. It looks really, really cool. And then thirdly, she's just fine. She's just absolutely gorgeous. Coming in, number 3, Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. I don't know much about Kang the Conqueror outside of just one comic that I've read, and it was actually pretty interesting. But in actuality, I didn't really like the version of it I seen in Loki. But this movie made him really badass. It made him very intimidating. It made him very threatening. He was actually very badass. The character was just straight up freaking awesome. Stupid in that MCU villain a way where he's all powerful, but it just this stupidness surrounding what he's doing and how he gets taken down. But the character's actually freaking badass. In fact, this version of the character is probably one of my top 10 favorite villains of the MCU because of how interesting he was and how badass he was. So this is again an interpretation or adaptation of a character that I didn't like in the comics that actually made me interested in the character. Coming in, number 2, Hope Van Dyne, Wasp, played by Evangeline Lilly. Now that's not saying that. Now, not just the fact that I'm a fan of the actress. I think she is freaking phenomenal as the character. She's awesome. Really, the issue I had with the first film was the fact that we didn't get to see her in a wash suit in the first film, but the second film definitely made up for it. Showed that she's exceptionally badass. She's exceptionally skilled. And again, Wasp is one of those characters I didn't really care about. I didn't really think she was interesting, but this actress did a fantastic job not only making me like the character, even though it's a different interpretation of the character and not a direct copy of the character from the comics. She was actually pretty interesting, badass, looks exceptionally good. And I just like the dynamic that she has with Scott, being kind of the more serious, but not too serious. It kind of reminds me of the relationship between Star-Lord and Gamora. Well, she's kind of like the Gamora type, and she's actually pretty badass. And she's probably one of the female superheroes in the MCU that isn't like cringeworthy to me. So, anyways, I actually like her character, and I think she contributes a lot to the Ant-Man franchise without overshadowing Ant-Man, of course. And of course, number 1, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, played by Paul Rudd. Now, Paul Rudd is one of my he's up there in my favorite actors list. I really like the man. I've enjoyed his work over the years, and I like seeing him play this character. It feels very natural for him to play this role. And again, Ant-Man, along with majority of these characters on this list, is a character in the comics that was very obscure that I really didn't care about. And he made him interesting. He made him likable. Not only was his personality and the performance actually really good, and the story around the character, but also just the way the technology works, his powers, his abilities, the way the suit looks, everything about this character just stepped out to me. Is he as prominent as characters like maybe Iron Man, Thor, Captain America? Probably not. But he's definitely on. He might be a tier below him, but he's still very interesting to me. He's more interesting to me in the way it's been presented in the MCU than like Doctor Strange is. And I know a lot of people like Doctor Strange, but I actually liked Scott Lang in this film. Thought it was a pretty cool character. So Ant-Man, number 1 favorite character from the Ant-Man film series.